that ointment going?
Yeah, whatever. So,
What's
yeah.
going on, y'all? It's your girl Shannon,
This your man Terrence J,
and this is
the last podcast.
the last podcast.
And it might be the last one for real, so we might as well toast it up to go on and set this one up.
And we like the sauce. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, this is applesauce.
Sure it is. It's made with fruit, that's for sure. Welcome back to our family, our friends, our viewers. If this is your first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. If this is your second or third or fourth time, because this is our fourth show.
Fourth show, absolutely.
We did not think we would make it this long. Honestly, that's why it's
Yo,
called
The
Last Podcast.
Show number 2, I was like, this is definitely gonna be it.
Yeah.
But
I can
we
see
back.
We are back.
Yeah,
We are back.
yeah.
So
barely. So great show lined up. Great, a lot of topics, a lot of things have happened.
a lot of things have happened.
Yeah.
But let's get into our first order of business.
All right.
Our famous disclaimer. We will still be friends after this show.
All right.
No matter what you hear,
No matter what nobody say,
no matter what you think.
no matter nothing. Okay. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
We're gonna be friends after this show.
Also, our unofficial disclaimer.
If fat shaming is a problem for you,
If you are offended
if you're offended,
by fat shaming.
if you say, "Oh my God, I can't believe they said
I
that,"
can't believe that. If you're offended by a lot of stuff, you probably just need to
log off right now.
Yeah.
Just go on and log off and find another show, because this is not the show for you.
Not the show for you.
No,
Because this is probably one of the most ignorant in a good way.
in a good way, very informative.
Very
though.
informative.
Yeah.
That's going to be some real ignorant.
But I know y'all can see I got plenty of jokes to my right over here, so they might just roll out kind of like she rolled in here to the studio.
Says the man with the royal blue onesie, but that's okay.
That was last week's joke, okay?
No, well, you stop wearing them. Anyway, welcome back, guys. We have a great show lined up for you, so let's get it started.
Yes. We're going to talk about the culture endorsement, but before we do,
Yes.
I want you guys to make sure to share this. Let
Please.
everybody know that the last podcast is on right now.
Yes.
We want the numbers to go up through the roof. We've been gaining ground each and every week.
Yes.
So we
Thank
want to
you
keep that
guys
going.
so
Yeah,
much. I mean, the
appreciate you.
feedback has been great.
Absolutely.
Okay, so the cultural endorsement.
Mm-hmm.
If you know me, then you know that I love politics. I love talking about politics. I love discussing anything that has to do with politics. So, what we decided to do is, with the upcoming election, we wanted to dive into each politician, especially at the local level, and give you guys some information on each politician, and kind of give them like a report card based
Yeah.
on what their beliefs are, what their platform is, and if they meet our standards,
Yeah, then we'll give them the cultural endorsement.
the cultural endorsement,
Uh,
and the cultural endorsement meaning for us, as in the melanated people.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Because I feel like too long that they kind of use our vote
Our
as
political clout.
our political clout, because we have a lot of political clout as Black people. So this go around, we are going to make sure that we are well educated and well informed, and we're also going to make sure that they understand that we are not coming to play this election. So
Exactly.
so be on the lookout for that. We have
Yes.
some great things in store, and we're very excited about the cultural endorsement.
It's a lot of times that we don't know the roles of these politicians.
Right.
We don't know what they're responsible for. We don't know their track record. We don't
Right.
know their platform.
And sometimes we just see the name because we
Because they become Black famous. Let's
Yeah.
call it what it is.
Yeah.
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 There's a lot of Black famous people in politics in
Yeah.
Dallas. And I know,
Yes.
I'm pretty sure whatever city you're watching this in, you have those same people. You say, oh,
Yeah.
I know this person, and you click. But what have they done for us lately? So that's what we want to find out.
Yes.
Who are these people and what are they doing? And should we vote them out regardless of the fact that they are Black and they're in politics? That don't always mean they're for us.
this is true, because all what
All skin folk
ain't
ain't
kinfolk.
kinfolk. All right?
I was gonna say that backwards. So I'm glad you said it.
What, you look backwards. So I'm glad I'm here to help you out because,
All right, SpongeBob. Okay, let's go on with the show.
All right, the weekly
All right,
rundown.
the weekly rundown.
Yeah, so a lot
Wow.
of stuff.
A lot of things happened this
A
week.
lot of things happened this week. There's a multitude of different things going just all across the board. So some you might think that is laughable, and some pretty serious.
Yeah, we're going to start with the laughable one first. This is Jonathan Isaacs, who plays for the Orlando Magic, decided that he was not going to take a knee. So Jesus took one for him.
Wow.
Let me tell y'all something.
I didn't say that. Okay. That's why.
Okay. He decided that he wasn't going to take a knee because he was a Christian and he felt like
wearing a Black Lives Matter t-shirt and kneeling wasn't going to fix the problem. He kind of had like a residue of a all lives matter kind of saying in his.
So he pretty much Terry Crews'd his way to a knee injury.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, he was just spouting his Christian values and how he didn't think this fixed the problem, which we will discuss. We will discuss. The difference between the title or the slogan versus the organization
of Black Lives
show.
Matter.
Yeah.
Okay, right, and that'll probably be next the next show. But I want to just say something. So he cited that he didn't, because of his Christian beliefs, Jesus Christ, that he would not. He didn't feel like it. Basically, all lives matter. Okay, Jesus was really big on social. And Jesus.
So they say. I'm just saying. So I've heard that.
Well, all I'm going to say is the Bible does say every knee shall bow.
So what you're saying is he didn't take a knee, so
Jesus said,
took a knee.
Let me go ahead and get that one.
Wow. We can't make fun of this dude.
And Jesus did it for the culture, right? I know Martin Luther King is like.
Do we have that slide?
I think we have. Do we have that slide? Let me see.
No, we don't have that slide. I didn't put that in. You know, it was probably me trying to be good where I didn't put that because she wanted it in.
I did want that in. Yeah. However, I will say this: you see the man to your left and you see the man to your right, your melanated brothers. Follow their lead next time, or you're gonna end up.
That's why this is going to be called the last podcast.
I'm sorry. No, I will say this. The headlines this week with this picture and the memes have been hilarious. Now, I'm not mocking his injury. So if you are going to come for us regarding this particular segment, please save it, or you will end up in the next podcast.
Yeah, it will happen.
But this is, come on. I mean, how ironic. Really,
it is very ironic. I think that's
Jesus got jokes.
You were not gonna put this on Jesus.
Okay.
Did Jesus do this for you? That's what you think?
Jesus did it for the culture. He said, "Oh, you ain't gonna kneel, my brother." All right. Hey God, I'll be back.
Wow.
All right. Moving on.
Hey, Gary Patterson.
Gary
TCU.
Patterson. Yes.
Yeah. So Gary Patterson was. Found himself in a situation this week where he used what they call the N-word, right? Now, we've seen the stories that came out that said that he was, he used a racial slur, which we kind of have a thought process on. Is it a racial slur if you are not using it in a racial way? But he had a player that continued to use the word that Gary Patterson was not a fan of him using the word there in the team meetings.
Right.
And let's understand, on a football team, there are a lot of multitude of different races on a team.
And the player's name is Dylan Jordan. He's a linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
One who doesn't get as much playing time as he thought he was. He thought he was. So that might be another issue in there.
And apparently he has been. I'm going to take it as he had been using the N-word. This black player more than once, and from what I can gather from just taking into context the whole what I read, it looks like that the coach may have asked him more than once to stop using the N-word.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I believe, and until more information comes out, I believe that this had been a conversation before.
Yes,
right?
And probably multiple conversations.
Yeah. Now, he's in a position of teaching these young men how to become men in the world, right?
Right.
And so he has an authority like figure there on the team. And I'm pretty sure he's looking like, wait a minute, I don't want anybody to be offended by allowing you to keep saying his word, because what happens when a player of another race says the word and you
What
say, well, you
happens
let him
when
say the word?
Seth says the word?
Yeah. And so I think he was like, listen, let's not have it, because actually this is a place of business. You know,
Right.
we can say student athlete and college athletic. No, this is a place of business.
Right.
And so you need to learn how to conduct yourself in a business like manner. And I'm just going to believe that if he got to the point, because I hadn't heard of him having a track record of having anything else like this.
Right.
If he got to the point where he actually said the word, I think he might have been frustrated enough to say, okay, wait a minute.
Stop using
Because
okay. And let's dial it back. Okay, let's just talk about the player himself. We all know that word is used amongst ourselves in our family gatherings, with our friends. But if you are in mixed company, especially at a Christian university during practice, and like you said, this is, I mean, you're a student athlete, but this is like a business.
yeah, exactly.
Why are you even using that word anyways? Because you're comfortable with using that word, but when the coach uses it, now it's a problem. We have to. I'm just looking at this coach like he is looking like he just.
Well, you know what?
The coach looks like he don't take no mess.
Let's get a background of the story. He came in, he tweeted it or something. He got out to the team that coach said the N-word, all right? Well, the team refused to practice until they got the context of what happened. And then all of a sudden they start to back the coach.
Yeah.
Which means that they looked at the situation and said, wait a minute. Now, this might not be something that we want you to ever say, coach.
Right.
This is probably a bad decision, because everything that you say after that is going to be forgotten. But we're going to stand with you because you was not calling him a name.
Right.
You was trying to tell him to stop saying it.
So I'm not canceling out the TCU coach.
No,
I didn't even know who
neither.
he was until this week, anyways. But I feel like I don't think it was even bad judgment for him to say it. He was repeating.
It was bad. It was bad judgment because you got to understand what the fallout is going to be.
Yeah,
But I think he looked at the boy and said, "Yo, me saying stop saying the N-word is not going to resonate.
it's not going
with
to be
him."
as effective.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So linebacker who done from Pittsburgh, stop using the N-word.
And I didn't understand why they tried to bring in a conversation he had with the
Right.
player who posted his girlfriend on National Girlfriend Day. So the coach was messing with him, and he pretty much said, he called him. He said, "Man, you're an effing brat. Shut up before I send you back to Pittsburgh." And people tried to correlate that by saying, white people were saying send you back to Africa.
I mean,
him sending him back to Pittsburgh.
I mean, sending him back to Pittsburgh, which is the city with the best NFL team in history.
Whoa.
That's not like a bad thing. So
blasphemy.
anyway, let's move on. You probably what are you child? We don't even talk about that. Okay. So something happened in the Mecca of Dallas, Oak Cliff, at Friendship West
Baptist Church.
with
Yeah.
Pastor Freddie Haynes.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
Well, there was a rally that was planned in the parking lot of this church. Now, if you can see this church on our screen right now, you see that there is a Black Lives Matter sign on the side of the church. Very,
Right.
very big. And this church, if you're not familiar with the Dallas area where this church is, it is located right off of Interstate 20. So that means that anybody who passes up and down Interstate 20 can see it.
Yes.
So this rally was supposedly a rally that was supposed to back the blue, but from what I'm understanding, they use a black guy to contact the church to be the front man for this Back in the Blue rally. And any of you that know Freddie Haynes at Friendship West know that was not going to be allowed in his parking lot.
No.
It
all.
was said that they were going to use that church parking lot as a rest stop because it was a long trip. Now,
Where were they going?
they were just riding around Dallas. Now, how long of a trip is riding around Dallas that you chose this church with the biggest Black Lives Matter sign on it right off of a major interstate and decided to come here and your rest stop that you were having, and your rest stop included drinking and smoking and things
Smoking.
like that. You think that was cool in their church parking lot?
But they were met
Oh yeah,
with our people because
Yeah.
we will show up.
yeah. Listen,
We don't bother nobody.
and,
Sometimes.
and I think a lot of times because we are, care what you hear, black people are the most compassionate people.
really are.
We are it overall. We're more peaceful
Yeah.
than anybody gives us credit to. So, and a lot of times that's where sometimes when we become, radical black folk, we get mad at our other brothers and sisters because we're saying, listen, you guys are not preparing for the war that's happening around you. So, like you said, we're not bothering nobody. We'll
Nope.
bother ourselves, but we ain't bothering
Bothering
nobody
me.
else.
Right.
So when they came out and word started getting around and people started to show up, now was all of a sudden we got to get out of here.
Yeah.
And so we started to mobilize. I wish we would have did it faster, but all I'm saying is, hey, the next time you want to come by, let us know.
Let us know.
Just let us know. You can do that. Just
Let me
say,
tell you
hey, we're
something.
gonna
If nothing
come.
else, we'd like a good protest.
Oh, we love a good protest. And so now it was said by the organizer that he told them don't put any political flags, don't have any Trump flags, don't have any Confederate flags, but there was Trump flags out there, and there was a report. I seen one picture of a truck that had a Confederate flag out there. Okay, so now here's the thing about, let's just say about not Trump, your political party, that's what you do, but the Confederate flag. Now, so that truck that had the Confederate flag on it drove this whole distance around with y'all, and nobody said, "Hey man,
Hey, man.
what is that?"
Yeah.
No, we ain't,
I'm
that
not
ain't what we
buying
doing.
it. I'm not
at
buying
all.
it. Yeah.
No,
It's
no.
BS.
They didn't clear with it. They didn't clear with the church. And this guy Kevin Witt, who said, Kevin Witt is here in Dallas. He said, maybe it's time I need to plan some protests around Dallas this week. And so I sent him a message and said, hey, please, organize some protests this week, but let us know where they are.
Yeah.
Don't just pop up, because we want to pull up. All right.
Yeah.
So Kevin Witt of the Dallas area, if you have some protests planned this week, as a matter of fact, do it at the same site again. But this
Please.
time, tell us what time you're coming. And I guarantee you'll have the biggest protest that you've ever had in your life. And you'll really be able to see the power of your organization skills if you let us know where you are, because we will pull up, because you're right in the heart. 75232. So that was right down the street from Carter High School.
Yep.
Kimball's down the street,
Yeah.
Saukville. Listen, we'll come.
Yeah.
We'll come.
We will come. We
Let
will
us
show
know.
up. You
Yeah.
are definitely in the Mecca.
Yeah.
Okay.
Freddie Haynes said, listen, y'all came for us and we didn't send for you, okay?
Hello?
So, and if you know Freddie Haynes, you know that is not what's going to happen
No.
around him. So, Kevin Witt called him the Farrakhan of Dallas churches. Was he trying to insult?
I don't know, because you called me the Farrakhan of anything. I'm going to be like, okay. All right then. I made it, mama. I mean, Farrakhan is only a threat to
You know
most
what?
people.
Yeah. And if you notice, Farrakhan, I heard somebody say something. She was a little crazy and everything else she was saying, but she said, denouncing Farrakhan is the litmus test for black folks being accepted by the rest of the world.
But yeah.
And so why is that? You have to ask yourself that question. All right?
Yeah, and we're not going to denounce Farrakhan.
No.
Meghan McCain.
All right. So moving on to this situation right here.
All right. This is a Gillum family. This is in Aurora, Colorado. I have not. I've tried to stay away from a lot of things here lately on Facebook because it bothers me. It bothers my spirit and to the core. But when I saw this, I was so, and this is actually a better picture, because the first picture I saw, the whole family was laying on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So here's what happened. The Aurora, Colorado Police Department received, I guess they ran a tag, and the tag came back from this SUV as a stolen motorcycle. Let me repeat that. Motorcycle. Okay? Yeah. From a different state. They drew their guns, their weapons on this family, and you see them there on the ground. Now, there's one picture where they are all laid on the hot asphalt, okay? For a stolen motorcycle. Do you see a motorcycle in this picture?
Looks like an SUV to me.
Okay, so let me tell y'all something. This first little boy, and this lady right here. This is why we protest. That lady on the ground. This is why we kneel. But that baby on that ground. That is why we tear stuff up. This is ridiculous. Okay, we should be so outraged. And then to hear the police chief says, well, it was a mix up, or the tag reader was read wrong. Okay, if there's a tag reader that comes back and says there is a stolen vehicle, don't you think to check which type of vehicle it is? So you just gonna pull it over based on the tags?
And to my knowledge, I've never seen a license plate on the back of a motorcycle the size of the ones that's on the back of a car. They're usually a lot smaller. Mm-hmm. And so if you get a tag that says it's a stolen motorcycle, well, I think the size of the tag should kind of give it away. Now, maybe there's something totally different you guys do in Colorado, but I have not seen a full-size license plate on the back of a motorcycle.
Me neither. And even if I did see a full-size license plate on the back of a motorcycle, and I pull up a tag, and I've never been a police officer, but I just do have common sense, okay? And I pull up a tag, and it says that there's a stolen vehicle. Don't you check to see the model, the color, the make of the vehicle?
And here's another thing. I'm looking at the picture, and you guys that are watching this can see the picture. There is a little girl. There is looks to be her mother, another woman, and a little boy. Now, not the stereotype, but how many of those look like motorcycle riders?
None.
So when you pull up and you see this tag that says supposedly a stolen motorcycle, and it's an SUV with a family in it, and none of these are, let's just say this, none of these are 22 to 40-year-old males. Number one, those are going to be the highest number of motorcycle riders. And then you see, okay, it's two kids, and then you see a mother and maybe a sister.
I think that was her daughter. I think that's her oldest daughter.
Her oldest daughter. Okay,
I'm not sure, but yeah.
None of these people look like they were driving a motorcycle, and you couldn't ask the questions without laying this family down on the ground, especially this little girl.
Yeah.
What threat is she? So
and look at her. And when I saw that this little innocent black girl, her life before then was probably, she has her cute little crown on. You know how little girls are. They live in this fantasy world, this fairy tale world that we want them to live in until, they have to deal with this type of BS. Mm-hmm. And the picture is heart-wrenching. The video is even worse. And look,
it's sad. And you know what? You're right. This is why things get torn, because, don't come give us the saying of what about Detroit and what about Chicago? What about this? And then you want to start talking about all these blue lives matter. First of all, there's no such thing as a blue life. Number two, blue life.
A blue life, that's a profession that you chose. Yep. You don't wake up and you're blue, okay?
No.
We can't take off our black skin.
No, you cannot. And also, Blue Lives Matter was only created as a direct protest. So again, it's not a color followed by the words lives matter. It's only the difference of the color that you have a problem with. So when black goes in front, then you have a problem.
Right.
So, and the thing is, you can miss us with all of that. I'm just saying, when you look at this situation, please explain to me why a stolen motorcycle tag comes up driving an SUV and 4 people get laid on the ground, and we look at 2 little kids get laid on the ground. Okay, so this is a problem, and this is why we have an issue.
So the next time there's a riot, and people are tearing the police cars up, and why do we have to do this? Remember this picture. As a matter of fact, you can just skip over the three people.
Yeah,
look directly at that little girl.
Yeah, when innocence meets evil. That's what you're watching right there.
You stole that from me.
I did not.
He did. I said that yesterday. I said when innocence meets evil.
Were they there when you said it? So I got credit for it.
Moving on. Okay. We are going into our topic,
Yes.
and okay, so this has been trending.
This has been trending, and before we get into the topic, I got to give a shout out to everybody watching.
Yes.
Shantae, she says she's producing this show from her car. I know you are. And shout out to Shay. Shout out to everybody that's watching the show right now. And so, yes, Shay, Blue Lives Matter was created solely
Hey, Jared.
as a counter to Black Lives Matter movement. So,
Yes.
But this has been trending.
This has been trending.
Yes.
So, last week we talked about the black family structure and marriage. So this week we're going to dive into the mother versus the wife. And this has been I'm surprised that this is even a trending topic. And I guess it stemmed from the video
Yes.
of the mother in the front seat and the wife, going off on the husband or whatever. So then out of that, there started these conversations, and some guys were saying, if the wife is well taken care of, then what does it matter how the husband treats the mother? Then I saw another post where it said a lady wants a guy who treats his mother well, but then gets mad when she does or something like that. I don't know. So let's just dive right on into this. First of all,
The mother versus the wife. Wow, didn't even know that. I'm lying. I knew there was a competition in some households of the mother versus the wife. But it's a lot of different layers that go into that, right? And I think I'll start off by saying there is not a competition if you are handling your job right as a husband. Can we just say that?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. And here's the thing, as a wife, and I've been a wife for 12 years, I am not going to be in competition with anybody, any woman, when it comes to my husband, including my mother-in-law. Now, if you are a husband, you should understand that if there is a point of contention or some strife or anything, then that really kind of falls on your shoulders, because there should not be a conflict between your wife and your mother unless, you just have an overbearing mother. I mean, because there are some circumstances.
Okay, so that's what I'm getting into.
Okay.
So you said I'm not going to be in competition with my mother-in-law. But you got to understand, if mother-in-law brings the fight to the house, you almost get drawn into that fight.
If the mother-in-law brings a fight to the house, as a woman, and it's his mother, my husband it's his house. He's the king of that castle. So I don't care what it is. You don't let a threat come into your castle.
You know what? Now, the castle.
Here we go.
A lot of times you got to ask yourself, where did the castle start? And this in some situations happens when you have a single mother, who has taken little Nug, told him he was the king and the man of the house.
This is my king.
Exactly.
You made him the man of the house, and you stop doing that. Stop making if you're a single mother, stop making your child, your son, the man of the house. That's not his responsibility. His responsibility is to be the kid of the house. He is not the man of the house, because now you are creating a whole. What's the word you use? I don't want to take yourself if you take mine.
I've never taken anything from you. Last time I tried to take something from you was a piece of chicken, and you slapped my hand because
looks like you took your shirt from me. But anyway,
so what you want to do is you don't want to create a situation to where you have created. See, this is what real men know.
Okay.
It takes work to get that title as the man.
It does.
You can't get that title without putting in work.
Yeah.
So you give that title to him at 16, and then you wonder why at 26 he's landing up under some woman saying he's the man of the house, but he ain't working. Because he said, I ain't never had to work for this title, and so you should take care of me like who? My mama did.
And now what happens is when the woman starts complaining, well, you need to do this, you need to do this, he goes back and he tells his mom. Now his mother has an attitude with you because you are requiring her son to do something that she never taught him.
And she say, baby, you ain't got to be over there with all that. You can come back over here.
So now you're crippling your son.
Which happens a lot. Because I'm going to tell you, if you are a single mother, you have to find a male figure.
Yeah.
For your son to be around. If dad is not around, right? If that's not the case, you have to find a male figure that you trust for him, a son especially, for him to be around, because he needs to be able to see that. Well, so your Uncle Earl he has an organization, Little League Football, Redbird Raiders, right?
Yeah.
And so many kids have come through there,
Yeah.
and they were able to watch just him be.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, men need to see men just be.
Be.
And I'm gonna tell you, most of the times, I can usually tell when a guy comes from a situation where there is not a male figure. You know why? He's usually highly emotional. He has no logic.
He acts like his mother.
He acts like a male version of his mother.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I'm like, yo, it wasn't no man around with you because your ass is too emotional.
Yeah.
You can't get ticked off everything.
And it's one thing I can't stand is an emotional man. Like, I already have my own emotions. And I got to deal with yours. Like, and I know people may say double standards, but you know what? Oh, we deal with a lot of double standards.
There's a lot of double standards.
This one here, look. When you have men who can't reason, who they don't know how to even have rational conversations or rational behavior, rational thoughts, it throws everything off, especially when you are supposed to be the head of the house. Because if you are irrational in everything that you do, if your emotions lead you in every aspect of your life as the man, that house is just going to be...
It's going to be thrown off.
Yeah.
And Shantae, you said it perfectly. She raised a sorry ass man boy. Okay.
Yeah.
So now let's talk about emotions. Okay. And we're still tying it all back into having, that competition between mother and wife.
A wife.
So I'm gonna tell you something about a man. We have to be, we get accused, especially a lot right now, saying we need you to express your emotions more. And I'm telling you, there's a lot of times there's not room, or the opportunity doesn't present itself. Watch this. You're watching a basketball or football game. The team scores. The coach looks straight faced.
Yeah.
The team is messing up. The coach looks straight faced.
That's Mike Tomlin.
You know why? Because if you get too up or too down, you can mess up the reactions of the whole family.
Right.
So as a husband, I can't always express to my wife when I have a fear of something.
Right.
And I keep hearing this, express to me your fears. You don't want to hear every fear.
And
Because if your husband came to you right now on everything he just said, I don't know about, you're going to be like, whoa, maybe I need to hitch my trailer to another wagon because you don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
You some stuff you got to keep to yourself
So
as a man.
how does this relate to the mother versus the wife? Because if y'all did not see the video, the mother was in the front seat, and the wife, I guess the husband's picking up the wife, and the mother does not get out the front seat. Now I will say this. I will never allow my mother-in-law to sit in the back seat, and if it's just me, myself, and my husband. Because that's just how I respect her.
Okay.
And so if it's just us, I'm going to make sure she sits in the front seat and, she's more comfortable in the front seat. Or unless it's my father-in-law and my husband and my mother-in-law and myself, then we both sit in the back seat and the men sit in the front seat. But that's just how I was raised. There's a level of respect that I have for my mother-in-law.
Okay.
I also don't have a mother-in-law who is always in our business. If I had that type of mother-in-law, then I would not be married to that man. Now, I have dated a mama's boy who was always in the mix. It was not good.
Oh. I mean, it's just a name. It's only us. Ain't nobody.
I mean, his name may start with a letter.
A letter.
A letter.
Okay.
Okay. So, anyways, but I say this when that type of conflict happens, it's because, and I know some of y'all gonna give me a side eye, but the husband got to check his mama. I'm to be straight
Absolutely.
up. You have to check your mama when it comes to your wife. Now, if your wife is mad, disrespectful, or whatever, then that's that's a different situation. But you do not leave your wife out, out in the world feeling like she's alone or feeling like it's you and your mother against her, because that's your marriage, okay? Because your mama had a man, whether she still got one or not. I also saw a post.
Probably the reason why she ain't got one.
I saw a post that said that the reason why some of y'all mamas all in y'all marriage is because she ain't got her own husband.
Yeah. She had one and ran him off. Okay. Yes.
And we're not talking about the widows unless, she killed her own husband, but that's a difference.
Well, we do know people who have shot their own husbands. But But with that being said, I have to go to this level of saying when you said you got to check your mom, you do, because if we're gonna go by the Bible, how you're supposed to leave your mother and cleave to your wife,
Yeah.
well then I'll now that relationship you have with your mom now cannot supersede the one you have with your wife. It's not that you're going to take care of your mother. It's not that you're going to not do the things she need. But I'm gonna tell you this. And what the guy said, if you're taking care of your wife, why she have a problem with your mom? I'm gonna tell you this: you ain't taking care of your wife, because if you watch the video, it was like it's always she was making a point that I always have to take a back seat to her.
Yeah.
And so understand this, and this is real talk, fellas. If your wife is playing second fiddle to your mother, there's a dude out there that will make her first.
Oh.
That's just real talk. So the thing is that if you want to keep her and want her to be there with you, she has to be. Because I'm gonna tell you, I mean, it comes down to anything. Me and my dad was joking about it, but he said he had a dream when my daughter was real young. He said, "Man, I had a dream you was whooping that little girl, and man, I had to come out there and come see you." I said, "Well, Daddy, if the time comes where I do, and after she gets hers and you want to take yours, come this way, because this one here is mine." Okay.
Yeah.
So if you want to fight me over what I do for mine, then we got to fight on the hand.
Right.
And I'm like day off of Friday. We ain't look no more. So
Well, and the thing is, even like you as a husband and wife, the unique bond between the husband and wife that's really why the Bible says you become one flesh. And and I said this to a guy. I said the reason why the Bible makes it very clear about the structure of the husband and wife is to set boundaries, not only for the people in the marriage, but for the people, the family outside of the marriage.
Yes.
Especially the mothers who, this is my baby. And I don't have sons biologically, but the way I love, Scooter and Chunk and Preston, I would be that mother. This is my baby. So I'm glad the Bible put that in there. So,
and that is, see, that's a roadmap for everybody.
Right.
And so, mothers, if you have a situation, and guess what? You might not like that girl, but that's not your choice to make.
Right.
You have lived your life. Stop trying to do, okay, because guess what? A lot of times, what do men get accused of in sports? Trying to live through their sons. A lot of times, ladies get accused of, they don't get accused of this, but they do it. They try to live their married life through their son.
Yeah.
And so they want to have, that's why they dress him like the dude they want when he 3 and 4. They wish they can get a dude that look like that, so they dress him in such a manner. They call him
like
the man. He's the man of the house. He's this, my little man. And I'm telling you, a lot of times you are sitting there saying, I'm going to create a marriage. See, because I can control this one. Right?
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
Keith. Hey, Keith. Thank you for finally. I was waiting for you to pop up.
Uh-oh.
Keith says, as long as the wife's place is secure, why would a place in a car make a difference?
Okay, can I have this one?
Go
All
ahead.
right. Keith.
Take it.
All right. So, what does it make a difference? Long as the wife, you said, as long as the wife place is secure. The thing is that her place is not secure. Because if it is, like Shannon said, I get in the back because I give that to my mother-in-law. If your place is secure and wherever you are, you move differently. You only operate in a certain manner when you're not secure in where you are.
Yeah.
Think about this in a racial term. A lot of times the things that go on with black people in America is because we're not secure in this land that we call our home now.
Right.
So we act in certain ways, and a lot of your patterns can go back to, I always say that we're the only homeless race on the planet because we don't have roots to trace back to. And so think about how a lot of times we act. We act in homeless ways.
Right.
And so when you go through and say, I don't have a secure place in this, because guess what? If it wasn't your mother always get this, or she always, get the first of this and the first of that, well, then the only way she could say she always get the first of this and the first of that is that the wife ain't getting the first of this and the first of that.
And my question is, when I started to see this topic trending, is why is this even a trending topic? Why does it have to be a negative connotation on the wife being the number one priority in your life, regardless if it's your mother, your kids, or whatever? And why is it such a negative thing? And if your wife was completely secure, like you just said, then it would not be a problem anyways. So maybe you think your wife is secure and she's not, because if your wife is coming and telling you, "I have a problem with what you're doing with your mother," whatever it may be, then that's a problem because that's your marriage.
There's also another facet of woman to woman competition in this thing too.
And I'm not going to be in competition with another woman with my husband.
Because the other thing is, mama got to make sure she don't ever overstep her boundaries too, right? So mama a lot of times needs to be the one that says, when you pull up to pick the wife up, "Oh baby, I'll hop in the back." And then if the wife is secure, the wife says, "No, baby, stay right there. I'm gonna jump in this back because we all going to the
No,
same
baby,
place."
stay right there.
Yeah, we all going to the same place. Don't worry about it. We good. But mother overstepping her boundaries happens a lot.
It does.
And I'm gonna tell you, husbands not controlling. See, this is what we got to get back to, right? There's a role for men to play.
Oh,
right.
Let's talk about these roles.
There's a role for
anybody
men to
who
play.
knows me, especially in my group. Shout out to 2.0. Anybody who knows me knows that I talk about the role of the man and the role of the woman till that is my jush.
It has to be.
Yeah.
It has to be. And guess what?
If not, it's gonna be confusion.
Okay, let me shut down. I don't know if Keith is sending something else. I'm gonna shut down that right now. I don't give a damn what my wife gets. I don't care how secure she is. I don't care what I try to do for her. If she has a problem with it, it has to be fixed. Point blank.
You know what? You don't say a lot of smart stuff. As a matter of fact, I've never heard you say anything smart ever in my life. That was the first smart thing you've ever said, and I completely agree. Now everything else after that is probably still gonna be bullshit.
Probably gonna be some more dumb shit. Okay.
Yeah.
But I get one a day. All right.
One a century. But I agree, and we can reverse it. We can talk about the wife and the dads, but usually sometimes there is some issues there, but usually it's always the mother and her son versus the wife.
Because most time, if a man comes in that is taking care of our daughter,
oh yeah, y'all are good.
We're like, okay, cool, you got her, but that don't seem to go the other way around.
No. Mm-mm.
Because it's almost like I have to give up my grip I had of him and let somebody else. I'm the mama. Right. I'm the one that I've been wiping his diapers and it.
But he's a grown
man's man now.
Grown ass man.
So
seriously.
Yeah, and a lot of times that situation will happen when the guy comes in and he has her protection as his number one priority. He has her as the number one priority, and you're like, okay, good, she's taken care of.
Right, because men generally want to see their daughters with a man that they don't have to worry about, And I know that I know you're going to take care of her the way that I take care of my wife.
Exactly.
But mothers, some mothers have that separation issue when it comes to their sons, and then it causes friction.
Well, that's her husband.
I have a friend who her mother-in-law gives her the blues, and I don't understand how she allows that to happen, but her mother-in-law gives her the blues. And she told her one time, my friend's daughter is biracial, my friend is white, her husband is black, and so she went and got these braids or something in her daughter's hair, and she's like, I don't even know what to do with this hair, but she didn't say anything to the mother about her daughter's hair. Now, as a black woman who was raised by a black mother, who understands what it means when somebody touches your hair and you don't get permission from their mama, okay, her black mother-in-law knew she was out of line. So of course, when she goes to her husband and says, hey, I don't like this, you need to talk to your mother, he's like, well, what's the big deal? That's the problem.
That's a real problem.
That's the problem.
That's absolutely.
And on top of that mother-in-law knew good and
well. Knew good and damn well what was going on. Okay, she was trying to put her stamp on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't do that. You got to let them live their own life.
I told her, I said, girl, let me tell you something. Don't listen to me because you might not have a mother-in-law when I finish. But I will tell you this: you need to call her. You need to let. You don't have to cuss her out, but you can get this close to cussing her out. Use strong language, but let her know under no circumstances will she ever do anything to your daughter's hair without your permission. That is a no-no in the black community. And seeing as how that you have a black mother-in-law, Sharon knew she had broke code.
Hey, okay, so I got to hear this comment. Keith chimed in again. I would never disrespect my elders by asking them to move. My wife knows she is a top priority in our key.
Word, our life.
Okay. How is asking your elders to move for your wife disrespectful when
So,
the Bible said, the Bible, tell me where the Bible told you to put an elder over your wife.
and while you're looking for that, let's go to
No,
Derek.
don't look for it because you ain't gonna find it.
Okay, Derek Walker says, "Mother is nature, wife is a choice."
All right, D-Wop, listen. So mother is nature and wife is a choice. And so since I made this choice, then I'm going to choose to live in a fact to where she gets the priority. All right. So now the thing is, and mother by nature, mother is not a wife. All right. So she had the role of birthing you and raising you and teaching you. After that, she is done.
Yeah.
Not to say that mothering does not continue and things like that, but the choice is I chose to leave your nest and go create my own. So yes, it is a choice versus nature, but once you make that choice, what you are saying is I'm choosing to place this person first and not you, mom. And guess what? If mom really is secure in herself, let's talk about the mom being secure in herself.
Right.
Because a lot of times, let's be real, a lot of times these mothers are not secure
Right.
in their self.
And
in
I
their role.
have and I will say I have an awesome mother-in-law. I thank God because really God does give you what you can handle. Because I wouldn't be able to handle a mother-in-law who
mine is great. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just I don't have that issues. When people start talking about, I be like, oh,
Yeah, when I hear people talk about bad mother-in-laws, I be like, "Oh, really?"
Yeah.
But and my mother-in-law has like given me the game. She gave me the game on on the day of my wedding about some things that I'm happy because my mother wasn't here to tell me. But just certain things about as a woman, as a wife, with having to do with finances and just stuff like that. So I don't I but my mother-in-law is a secure woman. She knows who she is. She has a healthy self-awareness of who she is as a woman. She's also a married woman, and she understands the dynamics of having a husband.
Mm-hmm.
And she understands that when you have because your husband or your spouse is the only family member that you get to pick, okay? That's the only family member that you get to choose, that you go out and seek and choose. Everybody else, you just, like I tell my brother, you hear by circumstance. Okay, so women have to understand that when your son is marrying this woman, whether you like her or not, that's his choice, and you have to step back from that role. You no longer have that top priority in his life. Turn to your husband. Whatever you need from your son, get it from your husband where you should be getting it from.
Yeah.
Validation. That's what it is. I feel like they need to be validated.
And a lot of times, unfortunately, a lot of women struggle with that. They need that validation, but you got to understand how it works in the system of nature. And I tell women this all the time.
Derek.
I say, women, you got to understand it's the mother bird that pushes the baby out of the nest, right?
Yeah.
Because the thing is that she's like, okay, it's time to go out there because of what I put in you. Should have now. You should have enough now to be able to fly on your own because one day I will die, and when I'm gone, what are you left with?
Right.
So the mindset is to keep your legacy going, right? So if the mother bird doesn't push it out and doesn't learn how to go out there and fly and eat for itself, it dies when the mother dies.
Yeah.
Which, guess what? We see that in so many facets in our life. For most of y'all been in church. Y'all been in a church where the main pastor died. That church, a lot of times, didn't last.
Yep.
Because it was like there was nobody else to take on that role. So mothers, you have a very important role. Because I'm going to tell you, it happened to me. So I bought my mom's house. And I was a realtor, so I got my mom another house, but I was gonna renovate my house. So I was staying with my mom while I was renovating my house. I'm cool and comfortable.
Right.
My dad was like, "Hey, when are you gonna go to your house that you paying on every month?" I was like, "Ah, well, I'll go." One day, my mom said, "So when are you gonna go to your house?"
You were like,
Yo, I was like, "Oh, you don't want me here? Oh, so it ain't cool, no. Okay, you know what? I got a house. You know, what my mom was saying, yeah, Negro, you do have a house.
Right.
Go to it. You know why? Because my mom was like, it's time for you
to fly.
to fly.
Get out of my nest. As
Yeah.
a matter of fact, you have a whole nest.
You have a whole nest that you paying on every month.
Yeah.
I mean, and so,
And Keith, city life the city life and country life has nothing to do with it.
Keith, where you at, brother?
He in Belton, Texas.
No, I'm just saying, just mentally everywhere.
Oh.
I mean,
Well, it's funny because last week he said he liked the way you think. This week, not so much.
I just want to find out. Hey, no disrespect. I just want.
But
I know the city life and country life have to do with each other.
Because elders, we have to understand too that there are some older women, some elders who will say, baby, that's your husband. Get over there. Who,
real mamas?
A real.
Real, listen. Real mamas ain't gonna let you spend the night at their house.
No.
Not when you got a wife at the house. Hey, baby, it's time for you to go home to your wife.
Yeah.
So ain't no, I'm gonna go camp out at mom's house because
No.
you pissing me off.
No.
Because about 9 o'clock she gonna say,
That's because that elder understands, that mother understands, look, this not about me. This not about you. This is about you and her. Y'all are as one. It's not about me and my mama and you and your mama. No. That's not how that works. And I know some older women who will say, baby, that's your husband. And that's who you, whatever your husband says, that's what you need to do. And tell the husband, hey, if your wife ain't happy, you got a problem. Tell whoever is in the mix to step out.
hey,
And that's just what that is.
yeah.
So I'm looking at Derek Walker. The mother propped her son up to be a personal crutch to make her right.
Yeah.
I mean, and that happens a lot. And then that's she does that to the detriment of her son, because when he does go out into the world and he finds a woman, a wife, and he thinks that wife is supposed to baby him and treat him like the mother treated him, and the mother didn't teach him responsibility. She didn't teach him a sense of awareness as a man. And I know we keep talking about the mothers, but usually when there's a mother and a father in the home, the mothers, if they are trying to, overbearing, the father will say, hey, get out that boy's business.
I know a situation like that right now where it's now become a fight between the husband and wife, the mother and father, because the father is saying, let them go.
Yeah.
Let him go.
Yeah.
And so he was like, I'm steady having to have this conversation with her,
Yeah.
which means that now she's have to turn her fight back to the husband because he's engaging her in the fight, which is allowing the son to go do what it is he needs to go do.
So shout out to the dads.
Listen, very important, you guys. I keep telling you this. I can't reinforce it enough. You have a very, very, very strong role in your kid's life. And me and Shannon have both said that we believe that it might even be a bigger role in the daughter's life
I feel like
over
that.
even the son.
Yeah, I feel like that I know it for sure. I feel like that the dad is probably the most important parent. And we will talk about that. We actually going to talk about that on another show. It's probably going to be the whole show.
Yeah.
And I have a whole breakdown as to why. Now, this is not against mothers. I'm not canceling out mothers at all, because without my mama, I would not be here because my daddy wasn't shit. But...
Shout out to Nation Daddies.
Shout out to Nation Daddies. It's funny because I did a post today, this whole story. I was like, man, I remember this one time me and my daddy took this road trip to Georgia, and we stopped at all these random places. We had so much fun. Best time of my life. Then I said, I'm just lying. My daddy never did shit for me. I just want to tell a story.
Daddies, when you don't stick around, this is what you get.
This is what you get. Hello? I'm a hot mess. Thank you, David, for putting up with me. But yeah. So
Shout out to David for real.
Shout out to my husband. Shout out to my mother-in-law who ain't never stuck her nose in our business. And I will say, when I've called my mother-in-law to complain about her son, and this is what she told me. She said, "You know what? I am a woman first before I'm anything, and I understand what you're going through because I'm married to his dad. You know, I have a mother-in-law who says." Yeah, I got you. I get you. Now she doesn't sugarcoat anything. She doesn't say, "Well, I'm gonna take your side," you know. But she cuts it right down the middle, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Because if I had one of those
meddling, sticking your
me
nose
tell you
into a
something.
situation, those situations.
Your Honor,
just
the
don't
reason
work.
why I hit her was because.
Woo. You know what? On that note.
Thank you guys. Drop your comments if you have any questions. This will probably be a part 2.
If there's another show.
If there's another show, I really like the Black Family Structure series, so we may come back with this about dads maybe next week. If we have another show next week.
Because this is the last podcast, and her comments on Jonathan Isaac and Jesus taking his knee might shut us down.
Let me tell you something. Jesus said, "Oh, you gonna take a knee? Oh, I bet you will."
There she goes revisiting. Yo, make sure that you follow us on Facebook. The
and
last
share
podcast.
this. Share this, guys. Word of mouth. We don't have no money to pay for commercials,
No,
so
they ain't got none.
we ain't got none. Like we barely could afford these.
Yeah, shout out to Boss Lady for our glasses.
Yeah.
And,
Shay, if you hear, drop your information here so they can order some stuff from you.
We put these on payment plan.
Yes, we did.
So
and we 30 days late.
So follow us.
He also put this onesie on payment plan, but child,
you see
two sizes too small.
Do you see my finger? Follow us at The Last Podcast. On Instagram, it's _The Last Podcast. So make sure you follow us there. Make sure you follow Shannon at Shannon Lee Pruitt on Facebook.
And
B_Slay _repeat. Yeah, I'm not.
Just keep going.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, so, hey, listen.
And follow Tight Shirt Smitty here. Oh, my bad. Terrence Jackson, Facebook, The Radio Therapy. Shout out to the radiotherapy.
Yeah. Shout out to me. Yeah, that's what I do. I create this. Shout out to all the listeners, all the watchers.
And I'm the executive producer.
Yeah. You know what? You stop telling my title.
Okay.
Right. So we'll get out of here. We do appreciate you guys.
But before we go.
Yes.